Yo, 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 yo. Welcome back to the studio. Welcome back to Gooner TV. It is me, your host, Jason Gooner. And of course, on this day, we want to wish a happy Thanksgiving to each and everybody out there in the world. I know some Jamaicans don't really celebrate Thanksgiving like that, but I am in the United States, and of course, here it is a holiday, it is Thanksgiving, and today is a day for giving thanks for our blessings, our family, our loved ones. So, anybody that celebrates a day like this, had some good food to eat already, and still enjoying the company of your family, big up and respect for tuning in on this Thanksgiving. I figure I had some time, man's full, can barely move. I'm probably going to sit down for the next few hours anyway. So I said, let's do a little show. We'll have the Reggae Girlz going into their World Cup qualifying campaign. They have their first game on Saturday. We have the appointment of Miguel Coley as the assistant coach. So we're going to discuss that. And we also have an article out today with some Reggae Boyz speaking on additions to the World Cup squad at this current time, or even after the qualifiers were to end, even after the playoffs. So just wanted to discuss those things today. Whole of reasoning, of course, this episode is another episode, I should say, of Reasoning Time. Just the place where we can have the discussion, have the talk. You guys get involved as you always do in the comment section, and you don't know, we highlight what everybody's saying and we try to have the discussion and have the reasoning. So that is the premise for the show. We have some topics to discuss. The title, of course, you see, Welcome Back, Bunny. She is back in the World Cup squad. Of course, anytime the Reggae Girl squad is called, of late, we'll have to really be looking and saying, okay, is Bunny there or not? I did mention when she didn't get into the squad for the Trinidad fixture that I think Man City would have released her if it was for the World Cup qualifying. Some were not as sure about that, saying, well, the fact we're playing Dominic and some smaller nations, maybe they could try to say, boy, is she really needed? And I always thought that when it came down to it, the World Cup would not be played with none of the games. So good to see Bonnie back in the squad. We're going to talk about her and others as we look at the World Cup squad in a whole and have a reaction to the press conference, which I sadly had to miss. I had all intentions of going and being in that Zoom press conference, but the timing just never worked out. Like literally, right when the show would have started, I was in a meeting at work. So yeah, it just never worked out for me that day. But we're here to have the reaction to it, listen to it, and then we'll talk about some players in the squad that we see that was called. All right. Yeah, man, that's the first part of the show. Then we're going to talk about Miguel Coley accepting the coaching role as the assistant coach to the interim head coach, Rudolph Speed. Just talk about is that the best decision for Miguel Coley as far as his future is concerned as the Reggae Boyz coach, and also, was that the right call for the JFF as well? Just from our perspective, of course, just have a reason and a discussion on that. And then definitely want to bring up that article that I just read not too long before making the thumbnail for this video. Couple of players have some quotes in that article talking about additions to the Reggae Boyz World Cup roster. And it's a conversation that those that follow the YouTube platforms that talk about Jamaican football, especially the national teams, is something that we're always discussing. When is the cutoff point? Should we be recruiting versus should we not be recruiting? So to hear some players that are in it currently have something to say on the matter, we're just going to dive into that as well and just have the discussion on that whole reasoning. All right, people. So blessings to each and everyone. Let's see who blessed you up so far. Lamar Williams said, bless up, Jason. Big up yourself, Lamar. Thanksgiving, I don't think is a thing over in the UK, but happy Thanksgiving, same way, my G. Happy Thanksgiving to you as well, Rob Smith. All I want to say is if a baller from Jamaica did say what them man they say, YouTube would have popped down today. Hours are beating. Yeah, we're going to discuss that because the backlash that I have heard from it isn't really stemming from where they're from. It have something else to do, but we're not go change the format of the show. We're gonna wait. After the drama fill part of me know the people I'm gonna love to talk about. So I'll make the place full up, and then towards the end of the show we have discussion, Rob Smith. But we don't know. I knew this would be something that you would love to talk about for sure. Up. Big up, Chorus in the building. Hope all is well. Won't stay long. I'm here doing some studying and watching Stranger Things. Big up. Yeah, man. So the family, everybody in the house, basically, besides me, is on the Stranger Things thing. But honestly, people, I'm going to be honest with you. If I'm watching TV, it's sports, some kind of sports. If it's not football, it's basketball. If it's not basketball, it might be some American football, um, tennis, golf, anything. But sports are my thing. I swear. I like documentaries too. That's the only other thing I'll sit down and watch. Documentary about anything. Chippy with an assist today, Webster playing right now. Yeah. So I watched a little bit of Webster game. I saw some of Chippy game. I saw basically when Chippy came on, so I saw him get the assist. And then what I was really watching just now, I just watched the first half of Antigua versus Nicaragua. Cause them in our zone. I'm just sorry. Let me see how them team are looking, Antigua looks really poor, I must say. Nicaragua look decent though. So definitely Nicaragua will be the team that will, pose the most threat in the group to us. They have to top the zone, so can't afford no slip up. Big up Jamrock. Hope all is well, my G. Yeah, man. Hope all is well, my G. Happy Thanksgiving to you, the mall. Big up yourself. Yeah, man. Hope all is well with you and the family. I remember when Blakey said, "Come now and don't come at all." The man them said, "Revoke him captaincy." Yeah, man. Rob will talk about this until we actually talk about it on the show. I think Belly's worried about his spot in the team. Yo, maybe, maybe him say Rico forward. And him know Greg is there as well. And him know say boy, more than likely on a 3 left back. Who knows? Man, them have to fight for them role though. Up, Richard Green, up. Are your girls playing for Jamaica or US? Yo, the man roll out brawling with the question. Well, one of them for sure probably not gonna play for neither because she don't really play football. Or take it that seriously. I mean, she can play football, but she don't really play for no team or nothing like that. Now, my younger daughter, yeah, she plays seriously, and I mean that would be her decision, Meeks. To be honest, I don't plan on sending her either direction. If it came to that, we'll cross the bridge when it forward. But I mean, she would steer that ship. By the time she's making that decision, unless she get asked to play as a youth, she can make that choice. I will just educate her on both. that's probably that good for Jamaica's chances. But all I can do is educate her on both. The pros and cons of both. Yeah, I watch Webster game. Yeah, I watch the Antigua Nicaragua game just to try to see. I figured on paper when I looked at the group that Nicaragua would probably be the biggest challenge. So when I saw that they were playing Antigua today, I said, let me watch Nicaragua play a team that I know them supposed to beat and kind of see how them build up and how them play and, how them play in possession. Because I think this will be of the 4 opponents in the zone, I think Nicaragua is shaping up to be the toughest. So I just been looking at it now. I don't want to throw any shade at Guyana because I don't know much about them, but I'll be sure to watch a Guyana game as well in this window if they have a game this window, so that I can kind of see what they're about as well. But just watching Nicaragua play Antigua, I would think Nicaragua is probably better than them. I'm sure she will follow her dad's heart. No, well, if she was to follow my heart, then she would play for Jamaica, but I just don't. I'm just thinking like the way my daughter is now, at the age she is now. I mean, yes, I will give her advice, but I don't think that what she wants me to do, like, or what I want her to do is what she will actually do. If she does do what I want her to do, it will be, because she want it. Subconsciously, it might be because she know that's what I want, but it's not gonna be a situation where I'm like, yo, if you don't do this, my daughter again, or me not gonna give her an ultimatum like that. No, sir. Bless up Jeremy Lee. Happy Thanksgiving, my G. Jason, you're not helping your wife in the kitchen with the Thanksgiving meal. What you doing online? No, all right. So you're walking Peter Mystic. So from last night we start cook zine, and this morning now, cause basically me do the meats for the meal. So we never had a traditional like US Thanksgiving today. I got a rib roast, which is my kind of specialty when it come on to the big family gatherings. I'm gonna do my rib roast, so I always do it. I'm gonna get a ham, pineapple on it, and glaze it up and thing last night, and then prepare it all today. And because we kind of get a jump start on the sides and a lot of the other things, cause we had collard greens, mac and cheese, sweet potato, souffle, dressing. I don't think I left out none. That was everything. Yeah, and the two meats, the ham and the rib roast. And brother, see by the time about 2 o'clock hit, I'm gonna take out the rib roast and just slice off a little piece for see how it stay. I say, yo, come, we can serve dinner. So we eat about 2:30, and whole heap is there because we're supposed to be going to some other friends for Thanksgiving, but it never really worked out because Juliana wasn't feeling so well. So we never really want, take her around whole heap of people and them something there. And so we ended up not going, and we kind of were preparing that to kind of put to more food and have a bigger gathering with more people. So yeah, it does work out. So we end up stay at the yard. We never even planned for doing a stream today, but it just did work out that way there. And them can't do nothing right now. The whole of them sit down lazy and not chill out. And me just say, you know what? I could do a little show for the brother them way, and the ladies them. Or want whole of football reason even for a Thanksgiving day. So yeah, man. Yo, how the Nicaragua Guyana match miss me. No, them not play. Them not play. Is Nicaragua Antigua? It's not Guyana. Them not play Antigua. Didn't we play Guyana before and it was tough? Yeah, I think truthful truth, but I want to say like maybe we never face Guyana with like in a World Cup. So I don't know if this should be goal number 4 or she offside. She offside. I don't know if VAR is there, but then call offside on the field. Yeah, man, make them know for bust up a like button. Cook no turkey for the first lady and the family. No, we never do no turkey. Why for your meats? Cook clash with Billy and the man them. Yo, the man them say but I lie me I tell you it before to that Billy that imply, I ask me when that cook and all that kind of madness is alright though. Gooner, mark my word, the Reggae Girlz are in serious trouble because the Central American teams and Haiti are playing better football right now. Yeah, well, look, first things first, Jeremy Lee, let's get through this first zone. I'm watching what looks to be our toughest opposition. Like I said, let me not truthful truth. I make me remember and mark my words because I must say, boy, if me not remember, so we play Guyana and it tough. Um, but yeah, I don't think that Nicaragua is that bad of a team, to be honest, where them playing. Think like a lot of what a pass. I think like a lot of the Central American teams, maybe them just lacking that killer striker. But them play football pretty well around the pitch. Look like them drafting a American girl too. Say a blonde hair girl just run up from the back from Nicaragua. Yo, Rob Smith, may I tell you the God honest truth. All right, you see in a Columbus, yeah, there was this one place, a butcher shop, and I could have get my oxtail them. And the man stopped selling oxtail. So I got somebody tell me if I go to the Asian supermarket, if I go check Asian market. So I go over there. Brother, if you ever see the price for the oxtail them, like my love oxtail, don't get me wrong, Cause that was gonna be what the rib roast became. Because it wasn't gonna be rib roast today, it was gonna be oxtail and ham. And brother, couldn't get no oxtail, and I could have go Atlanta to get the oxtail, but it just never worked out with the timing for go for the oxtail. Some other things did I have to deal with yesterday, so brother, it just never work out. But yeah, it made me sad when I talk about the oxtail. And goat, say I wouldn't mind it on Thanksgiving, but wifey, like she will eat the curry goat, but curry is not her favorite. Like she like everything else from Jamaica more. Oxtail, stew peas, steamed fish, anything else. Just curry is not her favorite thing. Me would do that still. But true, marriage is about balance, sir. You know. Okay, that is the thing. When you already eat, but you have to go at people's house just to show a face. Yeah. Yeah, honestly, I truly say because even some people in a Columbus, yeah, they invite me and true. Me think we go Atlanta to go on next place. Me tell them say, yo, no. So when people have them numbers for who them a feed and go forward, you can't really link them and mess. You can't really link them and mess up the numbers and rate it. So and plus Julian I feel so well. So I never really want to take her around the people. Yeah, man, it sounds good, and trust me, it was good. My gosh, that was such a good meal. We just eat a while ago. First and foremost, big up all Chelsea fans. Then everyone else, big up. Happy Thanksgiving to all in USA, everyone. Jobless. Big up Odello. I like how you're respectful upon the Thanksgiving day. You never just big up Chelsea fans and stop this. You big up everybody, but you make sure you big up your Chelsea fans first. We can't respect it. We can't respect it. A war weekend, but we can relax today. Germany come on the white people internet. It's Thanksgiving. So come off the white people internet. Oxtail expensive. Yes, it is. It is. It's getting to the point where it's ridiculous now, brother. I tell you the truth. Brother, me see some oxtail in a Publix yesterday. And like it's a 14.53 a pound. I say, what it? Brother, if you make a oxtail pot, like, for the family and thing, and people are come forward, you have to get like a good 6-7 pounds, brother. So do the math there, so. I love oxtail so much, brother. Big up, Marlon. Big up. Hope all is well with you, my bro. On a careful enough kangaroo tail as well as oxtail, serious thing, all them thing that to baller. Can trust baller for make you think about the madness, but that's true. Them a call anything oxtail, brother. Mother did different. She did seafood thing earlier. Now I'm home, just wife and kids, oxtail, wings, pasta, and rice and peas. Just relax today. That sounds good. That's the only thing today when I'm really kind of upset. Me never like say rice and peas, but bro, me love rice and peas more than probably anybody. Like ask anybody when know me. Well, me love food period, but the rice and peas, brother. Just give me rice and peas and some proper gravy feed, some oxtail gravy. I think we could have just eat that by itself. I would want something else, but I like rice and peas to that point where we could have just, if you just give me some proper gravy upon it, we can just eat that. Big up all loser pool FC fans. Jaja. You have to name your squad for the Congo games. Mix. We don't have to rush them thing there, brother. About February, them time, let me do them video, the mix. Right now, I just watch the player them, see what them dep on, see who fit. Need to cover the game Sunday. Yeah, man. I don't think there's any Monday game this week. So that same night, I'm gonna do a review show on the week. So you don't know, Chelsea Arsenal will get a whole lot of time in that game, in that show. You don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about that. A whole heap of time will be given to Chelsea hosting Arsenal at the Bridge. The preview show as well. So you don't know, Friday night before the game them, we'll be here to do the preview show. But yeah, there's no Monday game this week. So Sunday night low, we're there. We're there. Not just New York low, everywhere. Just the four of us, about $30 worth of oxtail. But brother, If it was more, there ain't no oxtail. Yeah, so all right. So when we were planning to get the oxtail, it was gonna be for us plus like two other families. So that 30 would have been more like 60 to 90 for me, which I was willing to do. But then when it turned out that it was only gonna be us, and I'd have to ride go so far, just forget it. Because I couldn't get the oxtail when I really want here. Because even the oxtail where the Asian market sell, it made me think about put about the kangaroo tail, brother. Arsenal is looking good. That's a fact. Can't go around it. We play a proper team yesterday and deal with them, Bayern had their spells where them look really good too. But I think Arsenal definitely deserve the win, for sure. As long as Arteta don't, it has to be a balance. You see, anytime him overdo it defensively, we drop points this season. Man City, Liverpool, even Sunderland to a lesser extent at the end of the game, once we got the 2-1, and him say we never there. Well, I don't know if him say when I get the third, but him kind of just resigned himself to trying to win 2-1. Yeah, that did kind of cause him to drop them points. Because him clearly never trust the man them were up on the bench. Remember that was the game, Sunderland game, when there was no Madueke to come on, there was no Martinelli to come on, there was no, so him keep on Saka trust out everybody. And when him take off Eze, him have one area to put on, but him decide to put on another defender and kind of just make force where he just drop back and defend. So yeah, anytime him overdo it, because one thing that him really need to remember, this is the last I'm going to say about Arsenal today. Him have the defenders there already. So it's not like you have to tweak the system and go defensive to play defense. Just trust your defender them where you don't have and play a system where you don't have. So yeah, that's a little Arteta talk, right? So not to switch, but can anyone shed some light on Cole coaching tactics? Does anyone know? Well, no, all I could really tell you about Cole coaching tactics is look at the teams that he coached at JC. What was their style like? I mean, that's the only time I ever see the man coach personally. And of course, he's been an assistant to Schaefer and other coaches now for some years. But yeah, I couldn't really tell you. Honestly, I need to personally do more research on that. Maybe watch some interviews he has done again and kind of see if he gave any glimpse into that. I didn't see where. I just saw the article that they referenced the comments from, but I haven't done any follow-up as to like where they got those comments from. I think one of them, the Hayden one might have been taken from like an athletic article, I want to say. The Amari'i one, I'm not really sure though. Bless up Skipper Tone in a building. One Gunners. Never few. Bailey got about 15 today at Roma. Look kind of sluggish, but at least him grab an assist. Yeah. When him run down that ball down the right and him cut inside, normally when him in full nick, them cut inside there, I have to try smash it off of the left, but kind of like him, it's all right. When we cut it in now and just see who we can lay it off to, which was the right decision still. It give them a goal, but yeah, man, you could say after that run down, that through pass, that second energy to finish it off never did it. So you must make sure find the right pass. D-Cup coach. Yeah, and Manning Cup, yeah, same thing. D-Cup, Manning Cup. Follow Schaefer style, maybe. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's a good assumption. You would have been, if you were to ask Miguel Cole which coach, like actual one coach, was his main influence, more than likely I'm gonna say, well, if him don't say him as the only one, I'm sure Schaefer must be one of the biggest influences, I already got his UEFA Pro license though, I will check. Yeah, it's I don't know, did he get a UEFA Pro license or would he have gotten a what you call the Asian Confed? I guess AFC, because I thought that's where he would have been to receive it. So yeah, I'm not sure, but I know he has a pro license. I'm just not sure which confederation it's from. No team want to see Arsenal right now. One word: balance. Yep. attack and defense in sync. So Hayden joined the nativists then back in Jamaica. People have to understand that the British players more than likely don't want to play with Greenwood because of the negative view in England and Greenwood, and probably their agents don't want them linked. So Odello seeing it as a business thing. All right, so look, I know that is the hot topic. Man, them just love to talk about the man them and them madness where them have a go on. Brother, the girls them are playing 2 days, I could shed some light on what go on for them, no man. All right, we'll get back to the mans them. Since a beer man me see in the chat and a man don't want to talk about. Oh, I'm doing. Beat, don't forget. All right, let me find this clip. Come on, listen to Hubert Busby. And you know my style, people. We're gonna listen it and pause it and have a discussion about certain things, and so I could do that. See if I can find the video. All right, here it is, the squad announcement. JFF Live. Make sure if you haven't subscribed already to JFF Live, you guys go and do so. And if you want to join, there's that option as well. But I am going to play the audio and the video here. So I want to big them up and tell them respect for the content. All right, hold on there before we. Hold on there. Who that baby there? Baby, they need. No audio. Hold on, one sec. No audio. Not hearing that. All right, hold on there. I could fix that. I could fix that, low. Probably me turn it off, Probably me turn off the audio.
In November 2026, the venue to be
confirmed
by
thumbs up for audio
at a later date. So we're joined by the head coach of the Jamaica senior women's national team, Coach Hubert Busby, who will go into some opening remarks, and that will be followed by which the squad will be placed on the screen for everyone to be able to see. After that, we'll have questions from members of the media. Coach, good morning to you.
Good morning, Simon. Good morning, distinguished guests. Appreciate everyone taking time out of their busy schedules this morning to join us on this press conference. We know that there is still a lot of work to be done in our country, but we look to be heading on that right path and want to ensure that this team is doing as best as it can to unify and bring the country together through some challenging times. So I hope this call finds you and your family well, and look forward to answering any of your questions after we reveal this list of players. So at this point, Simon, if you want to share the squad list. All right. So For this round
Let him
of
talk and then we'll
qualifiers,
pause
these will
it.
be the players. We do have 2 or 3 players who are currently in the college game that we'll wait to hear from today whether or not they're available based on them advancing in the tournament. But as of right now, this will be the squad for us. We've got Sydney Schneider and Rebecca Spencer in goal, Kanya Plummer, Naya Cardoza, Tiana Harris, Chantel Swaby, Mia Mitchell, Jaylee McPherson, Tiffany Cameron, Atlanta Primus, Sade Adamalukan, Israeli Groves or Izzy Groves, Drew Spence, Denisha Denden Blackwood, Natasha Thomas, Jody Brown, Rashaya Walker, Shania Hales, Kiki Van Zanten, Chanel Buckley, and Khadijah Bunny Shaw. All right, so that will be the squad. And as I alluded to earlier, there might be 1 or 2 updates as we.
All right, so let's go pause it real quick and just talk about the initial names and everything. So you see the 2 goalkeepers. You did hear him mention that there are some collegiate players that would have been in NCAA tournament and have obligations for that. And based on if they advance or lose, they could be added to the team. One such player that we have gotten word from the JFF has been added is Leah Brooks. So there will be a 3rd goalkeeper in the squad for this right here. So I was kind of wondering about that. Typically most international camps, you'll have 3 goalkeepers. Now I know that this is a condensed window for the girls in terms of games. They only have the 1 game on the weekend, but yeah, that was the one change. Now we know that we have a large contingent at FSU. We have Kiki's sister Mimi, we have Cameron Simmons, and also of course Soleil Washington. And another player that's on this list is going to be added to that contingent next season, as Buckley is going to be transferring after another great season in junior college to FSU. So that's great news for Buckley personally. FSU is definitely a feeder program to the professional leagues in football in the women's game. We have seen it. Jody Brown is a testament to that. And so, yeah, that's a good look for her. But yeah, just looking at the squad, first thoughts, Alison Swaby not being there is something that we haven't seen in, I can't remember the last window or time that a regular squad was named that she wasn't around. So seeing her not in there is a quite a hole. I think the addition of Tiana Harris and Mia Mitchell will help with that. Tiana especially, I think Tiana has the ability to be a starter in this Reggae Girlz setup, just based off what I've seen of her in Portugal, her leadership. She's the captain of her squad. Doesn't play for the best team in Portugal, but definitely can see her quality, her leadership, and you could see glimpses of it in her stint on the pitch in Trinidad as well. So I think with Alison out of the mix, I wouldn't be surprised if she's the one that kind of steps into the fold there. Kanya Plummer would probably be the obvious of the veterans in the team to take Alison's spot, but we have seen Hubert Busby have a tendency to play Kanya Plummer either at left back or right back. He seems to see her as being able to play one of those roles as well. So, it's going to be interesting to see without Alison, like what he thinks his ideal back 4 looks like with these names. So that's something intriguing that I want to see going into this game. Now, looking at the midfield, Tiffany Cameron, Atlanta Primus, Adam Alokun, Izzy Groves, Drew Spence, Denisha Blackwood. Now, for me, all those players, good quality players. I love the fact that we're starting to get away from at least naming Denisha Blackwood as a defender. I've heard many people say, listen, we've seen her play left back at the World Cup and do well. Had a really good game in the opening game against France. But look, I would rather focus on a larger spectrum of games than just the anomaly of that wicked game against France in the World Cup at left back. There's been too many times where just positionally, awareness-wise, everything that has to do with defending for a left back, she just doesn't do it well enough for me. Sometimes her physicality and her speed will get her away with some things that she does, but against better quality, you can't make up for those just deficiencies that are there. So I love that even positionally on the paper, them not putting her as a defender, and we haven't seen her play there much either. You know, regardless of if she's listed as a defender on the list, she's not playing there under this coach. So that's one thing I can say. Okay, good. We're trying to move her to more of a role that I think she'd be more effective in. We see it at club level. You know, look at all of her professional clubs over the years. All of them play her as a winger, or if she plays left back, it's like in a 5 and she's an attacking left wing back type of player. It's not a 4 in a 4 left back. That's not what she plays at her club, and I think that's a good choice by her club coaches, right? And you know, Lauren Donaldson, to me, the best coach for the job, but I didn't like the fact that he kept playing her at left back either, you know, but he did it. So, you know, some coaches think that's what they can do, but I wouldn't do it if I was the coach. Big up, Pastor. Hope all is well. Happy Thanksgiving to you. Where's the other Swaby? Well, Allison actually got injured, you know. Allison got injured playing for Crystal Palace. I want to say it was a league match, but let me just double check. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, it happened in a game. She came off in like the first 20 minutes of that game. And so when she came off, you know, this play, if you guys can research it, they were playing against Ipswich Town, and Crystal Palace ended up winning the game 2-1. But Alison Swaby had to be subbed off after 20 minutes after a clash with Natasha Thomas. So Natasha Thomas and Alison Swaby had a bit of a coming together, let's call it. And I think the remnants of that challenge is why she had to come off the field. And she's actually still dealing with that same injury up to this point. So obviously didn't mean for that to happen, but just kind of terrible if you and your international teammate play a game at club level and you guys get into a challenge against each other and one of you get injured. You know, that can't be a great feeling. Still positions in the squad that need to be addressed, as I revives. Yeah, so the midfield, you know, looking at that midfield, right, the one thing I will say is with no Vian Sampson there, who sometimes fills in there, we saw Ingleton come into the squad. She's not here this time. She looked like a decent enough central defensive. We saw Mimi play there a little bit under this coach, even though it looks like Mimi, in his eyes, is going to be more of a left or a right back. But yeah, I don't know, man. Looking at this lineup, right, it's because Mia Mitchell, Plummer, Cardoza, Harris, Chantel, they're all centre backs basically. And Jelly McPherson is also a centre back, even though at this level, I could see the coach maybe using her at a right back. But it's a lot of centre backs there. So, you know, all I am praising this Denisha Blackwood. I wonder if the Mal is onto something. He said Blackwood will be left back again this game. Trust me. You might be damn right, because there really isn't a left footer there on that back line. You know, like I said, I've seen him put Naya Cardoza there under his tenure. I've seen him put Kanya Plummer over there under his tenure. I've seen Chantel play. I don't know if she played left back, but I know he's played a right back before. So yeah, he's tried a lot of these centre backs on the flank defensive role, and some of them it's been okay, others it hasn't been. Like Cardoza has been decent enough when she plays right or left back, but you can see the lack of a left foot kind of gets to her at times. But yeah, I was surprised when I didn't see her in the Trinidad lineup, because, you know, of all these players that I've kind of seen breaking through as the younger players, you know, she has impressed me a lot, that Cardoza girl. So I was a little surprised when I didn't see her in the last window. Maybe it was due to other engagements or something, but yeah. Plummer should get the nod, says Chorus. Yeah, it's just going to be interesting to see how Busby plays it, because, you know, Mitchell and Harris obviously newly joining the team. But, you know, Plummer, Swaby would definitely be the seasoned, you know, the seasoned ones in the camp. So yeah, it might be a bit of a shot to the confidence of Plummer if she can't even get her more preferred CB role when one of the Swaby sisters isn't around. But again, I just feel like that girl Tiana Harris is better than, you know, potentially better than All of them, you know, potentially. I mean, she's good, man. I'm telling you, she's really good. At least based on what I've seen, you know, she can play. All right, so let me continue. Let's hear what else he has to say about the squad, and let's hear some of these questions.
We progressives join us depending on their NCAA schedules. Okay, so if you happen to answer any questions you may have at this time,
raise hand feature and pose your question to Coach.
All right, first question. Smash up a like button, people. Almost 50 of you guys.
Okay, we have the first question from Donisha Johnson. Good morning. Go ahead.
We're there, 50 likes. Quick.
Hi, good morning.
Morning.
Thank you for making the time to speak with us today, Coach. I'm Donisha Johnson with One Umbrella Sports, and I just have a few brief questions here for you today. Now, with the first match scheduled for November 29 against Dominica, how would you assess your confidence level heading into the qualifiers?
Yeah, I believe, we are prepared and eager to get going. We had a really good camp about a month ago now in Trinidad through some, very testing times with all that was going on. But the players' focus and the staff and the support around the team was very well. And we had a very good camp, and I thought they did very well considering. But overall, we're looking forward to this match that's coming in, and as the players, obviously we're in St. Lucia now, and we're looking forward to this game on Saturday. And for those who weren't aware, we're playing Dominica in St. Lucia. The match was moved from Dominica. We weren't really kind of told why by CONCACAF, so we're actually playing on a neutral ground, which could have its challenges. But overall, we're looking forward to this match.
Okay, awesome. Now, what were the primary factors you considered in finalizing the squad?
Just based on form, I think one of the things that obviously each and every week, even coming out of the last camp, was just seeing how players were doing within their environments, and the minutes that they were playing and being in form was a really big part. It's always a big part. Obviously, we've lost a few players. Some notables in Allison Swaby, Kayla McKenna, Vianne had a bereavement, Simpson had a bereavement. That's why they're not in this group. But we look at, through the course of the last year, we've done a really good job, I feel, of integrating a lot of young players in. Sometimes, like I said, the results hadn't really gone their way, but the players who we've integrated in, some are very few from our own youth teams or previously, they've stepped up admirably. And we look at the game against Trinidad, we started, Mia Mitchell and Sade as the two pivots in the middle of the pitch, and I thought they did very, very well for young players. So they've got the experience now. They'll be guided by some of the senior heads in the group, and we're looking forward to the game on Saturday.
Thank you, Donisha. Let's now go over to Wade. Wade, good morning.
All right, before we go to Wade, so you just heard him mention Mia Mitchell and Sade as a pivot. And I remember seeing Sade play midfield in a deeper position. Like, I want to say it was when we played Mexico in those two games. And I was just so impressed with her technique in the midfield. And, I've always seen her playing like wing or even striker. But I just thought there was something that I really liked about the way she was playing midfield. And, since she's gone back to her club, she's looked to have taken up a much more midfield role. And the coach, even plays her even further back in this midfield. And it doesn't look terribly out of place. Now, she's still learning in terms of the off the ball. I don't think that she'll get tested so much in this first game with that. But I do think when we play better opposition, that's going to be the toughest part of her transition if she is going to play like a deeper line role in the midfield. But she does have the ability to pick a pass. She's very clean on the ball technically. So I don't hate her in that role. I just think she's going to have to grow into it and definitely improve the defensive awareness side a little bit more for me. But yeah, technician for sure. And I think it's not something she can't do. Now, Mia Mitchell, she's still in college, but her team would have been knocked out of postseason contention already. And he's right. I too wasn't expecting her to play that type of role for Jamaica, knowing that she plays defense most of the time. I thought maybe with us being a little light at the left and right back, he might try her there. But again, another player that definitely you can see that, very well technically developed, and you could see it shining through in the Trinidad game. Just some of her touches and how she was looking in that midfield next to Sade. I don't mind it in games where we're gonna have a lot of the ball. I could see where they might get the option to play now. When the likes of Drew Spence come back, Atlanta Primus, who are back in the team now, Izzy Groves as well. I don't think that Mia really challenges them in terms of playing time in that role. But I like that, he tried something new and just saw what she looked like. Even J. Lee McPherson, when she came on, was playing midfield as well. So it's clear that in that midfield engine room, he's wanting to maybe find different sparks that he can turn to. But I think right now, he needs to sort out, pretty much all the areas of the pitch. Definitely that midfield and that defense line. The forwards, there's a lot of names, but I still don't think he has figured out how to put all the names together. And, Khadija Bonishaw, while her presence is great for us, I think that's going to be the biggest issue. Because a lot of the players that we've brought in, the Natasha Thomas of the world, Shania Hales, I happen to think that they actually both play their best football when they're kind of playing as a striker. Now, Shania to a lesser extent, Natasha can play in a two up front. And just based on the team that's picked, I almost would lean to playing two strikers in this game, just based on the fact that it isn't really winger heavy. Jodie Brown can play winger, but, I think she thrives as a second striker. Honestly, when I see her playing, I don't think that she's like super fast. So sometimes on that wing, she has a lot more running to do, which I don't think is the best. I think centrally she might have a little less to do to get into goal scoring opportunities and positions. And if she can play off of a Bonishaw, she can play off of a Natasha Thomas, she can play off of a Shania Hales as a second striker, maybe that will work better out for her. Van Zanten, she can play winger, but I think she's kind of a technical player, not really using speed either. So if she was to play as a support striker, I don't think it's the worst thing in the world either. Shania Hales, not the biggest target striker, can play off the left or the right, but I think in a two-striker system, her and Thomas, they can thrive. And we even saw that against Trinidad with McKenna and Thomas playing up front at the same time. So, he could be leaning towards that, especially against the opposition that we're going to face. He might go for the two strikers. So that's a way you can kind of see the team and how it's set up. And, there aren't that many quote unquote wingers in the team. Most of these players play a little bit more central. So maybe that's the thinking of the coach as well. Bless up, Shavan. Hope all is well with you, bro. Jason, I know Andreen has been playing well. I was hoping maybe she would get a look in. Yeah, I actually agree with this, Shavan. Andreen, we've seen her play left back and we've seen her play, like right wing or right midfield and cutting on that left foot. It looks like for club, she's playing kind of a hybrid on the left role and then sometimes playing off the right as well. But she looks to be playing more of an attacking role in her club team. And I happen to think that, like, in her evolution as a player, she's probably going to end up being an attacking player. But in today's game, with those marauding left backs, sometimes they invert, sometimes they just play very attacking. She could probably fulfill an attacking left back role, but I just think that she's an attacking player. And when I look at this list here, the one name to me that I haven't seen really make that rise up in the football, unless I'm just missing something, is Rashaya Walker. Now, she's been getting chances ever since the W Gold Cup, and this is not nothing against her personally, but I just don't see that quality that I see from others that we have recruited and kept calling. Right? I'm not seeing that bursting out of Rashaya. No, you can see that she's a great athlete, right? You can see that she's a unit, well built and everything. But I'm just talking about the technical level. When we play some of the better opposition, how much can she really give? I'm not sure. You know, I wouldn't mind to see them give someone like Andreen a chance, who's clearly, you know, been a spark to her club in Serbia, and you know, is just putting up very, very good numbers so far. So, you know, it must be said that she's doing her thing. She's definitely doing her thing, Andreen Smith. So yeah, I wasn't like fully shocked that she never got a call up, but I am with you. I think that it would have been a nice window to call her, you know, would have been a nice window to call her, because she is doing really well. So for me, I could have been okay with Rashaya, because when you look at it, you know, when I look at the list of players who are on the squad, how does Rashaya Walker get on the field? You know, if you have three out and out forwards there, Khadija Shah, Shania Hales, Natasha Thomas. Of those three, Walker doesn't play over any of them. You know, I just don't see it. You know, then you have Jody Brown, who clearly is ahead of Walker in the pecking order for playing time. And then you have Kiki Van Zanten as well in that mix. So I just think a player like Smith, it gives coach a chance to kind of work with her. He's probably never worked with her up close. But I would she definitely would have been somebody that I would have asked the coach about, you know, are you tracking her? How close is she in your 40? Because I know he'll mention it later here about the 40 player pool and then an additional 20 that they're looking at adding to the pool or whatever the case is. And I'm just wondering, is she in that 40 or is she in that 20 that he's looking to maybe integrate into the pool as well? But yeah, I didn't have a chance to be there, so that's on me. We do have firepower up front. That is true. Yes, playing right wing, Butler convert Smith. Yeah, man, give her the skill sets. You know, that's Butler's favorite thing. They have the skill sets. We teach them every day, the skill sets. I'm asking for these players on every platform. Where are the day sisters? Well, as far as I know, Lansley, I got news a few days ago that one of the sisters, I'm not certain if it's the defender or the attacker, had decided to quit football. Yeah, I know one of them decided to quit football. Now, one of them is still playing, according to my source, and I believe she's still over in France in like one of the, I think the second division maybe. Based on how the team plays, Bonnie will most likely drop deep. So I think having pacey, tricky wingers might be an asset. Yeah, I'm just not sure what he's gonna do, because the last game when we played Trinidad, which I would think Trinidad was kind of a, let's pick an opposition that's going to be similar to the Dominicas and the Guyanas of the world. And against that opposition, it was a clear shape change to more of a 4-4-2 or like a 4-3-1-2 type of thing. So, which kind of made the attack a little bit more narrow. Now, of course, the strikers have license to you know, make runs out to the wing. So, yeah, that's where you get your width from, plus from the attacking players in midfield or the fullbacks themselves. But yeah, I just want to see system-wise and formation-wise what he goes with, because based on how he picked the team, I could see it being a little more narrow type of system. I probably start the show about 50 odd minutes now. What's up, Pastor? It's been a while. Hope you're doing well. Shavana, bless up, Pastor. Andrea has a long way to go seeing her play for her club. All right, respect them all. Respect. Yeah, only saw her play one full game, to be fair. So it's not like I've been just watching Andreen Smith every week. But yeah, I did like what I saw. Obviously, highlights don't tell the whole story, but there's a nice highlight tape going around of our season so far. And yeah, I see improvement. Do you find it odd that we start the campaign with back-to-back away games? Not necessarily. I think they what so we have, I guess we finish off the last two games at home, I think. So I guess the thinking is, and I think also we have like Nicaragua at home and I think Guyana at home. So they get even because we're the highest ranked team, we'll get the away games first, but we also play the worst teams away. So you know, I don't know. I don't really see it as anything really that big, to be honest. I guess they could have staggered it and say, okay, one away, one home, and then next windows you get the away and the home or whatever the case is. But Yeah, looks like we have the back-to-back. I think the winger is still playing, not sure, but in lower division. Okay, yeah. I don't remember which one. I thought. I think the defender, the one I used to play left back or right back, she might have stopped playing, but the winger still playing. Okay. Last time I think she was at like Rodez in France, but that she could have moved clubs since then. I watched her in the local arenas cup. She has improved a lot. Yeah, exactly. That's the last time I would have saw her play, when MG and you guy and you Shaban were doing the filming of the Raina stuff. That's when I would have watched Andrine play. Not even Raina's Cup, but also the didn't she play a little bit in this just concluded women's season, like in the early part? And I think she got the move. So yeah, I think that's when the last time I would have watched her play. Well, besides the one game I saw her play in Serbia, but before that, yeah. All right, let's go back to the presser.
You can go ahead, unmute and go ahead.
Do not get a consolidation loan until you see this. Amari'i Lopez here, and if you're thinking about getting a consolidation
later.
Wade, please unmute.
Yes, hearing me now?
Yes, go ahead.
Hi, good morning, coach. We see that Bonishaw is back in the squad.
Hey, word of advice to all of you that do these Zoom press conferences. So when you unmute, don't ask if them can hear you.
Any fears that, her reintegration will not be as smooth as we'd like? That's seeing that she's out for some time now.
No, I don't think so. I mean, we've been in touch with her and we've been in contact with her. I think what's important to remember, though, that is the way that we.
Yeah, Pastor and Mimi, Florida State is just too good at football, and they refuse to lose in the NCAA championship. And yeah, I don't believe the coach there is going to let any of his girls leave when he's trying to secure another national championship for the school. So yeah, that's the only reason why her and Soleil and Cameron are not around for this one.
We play, it's about the profiles of the players that play within that position. I mean, obviously Bunny is one of one, but the way that we want to play was always kind of with a little bit of her in mind in terms of our philosophy and what we want to do, what is expected from that position, in that number 9 position. So I think it's, those 2 or 3 training sessions will be enough to integrate her back in. And as we know, she's a top pro and quality professional. So we don't foresee any issues with her being integrated, having been out for a while now.
Thank you, Wade. Let's now go to Matthew McAnuff. Good morning, Matthew. Go ahead.
Good morning, Coach. Good morning, Simon. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, so that last question I was just talking about any issues the coach can foresee for reintegration of Bonishaw, seeing that she missed so many windows. I mean, it's one of those questions like, okay, the thought of the question makes a lot of sense, but what's the coach going to say? Yes, it's going to be hard to integrate her. He's going to say, no, I don't see that happening. Just one of those ones, like he's going to obviously answer it that way. Like what other answer could he possibly give? You know what I mean? But yeah, school over country. Imagine them telling the US women's national team that. Well, I think the difference, Shavan, is that the US women's national team would not have a Florida State player that's playing. They wouldn't even bother calling them. Like they're not. I won't say they're not good enough, because girls that just graduate and gone to play pro can get called into the national team like right away, but they just wouldn't do it. That's not how they see it. Now for Jamaica, yeah, if we have girls playing in a D1 collegiate level, especially a D1 college team, the level of a Florida State, then yes, they're probably good enough to play for our national senior team at this current time, to be honest. But it's just levels. Becca is there, right? Yeah, man, Becky is there. She is there. Becca and Becky, both of them. But I know you're talking about Becky. LOL, I asked because connection is Jamaica is always jumpy, so you don't want to talk and no one is hearing. Yo, to be honest, I say that kind of like half joking, because I'm just basing it off of the facial expression of Simon when people ask. It's like he's like upset that people ask, but like there's nothing worse than being on a platform and you're speaking, and then when you get off, somebody call you and say, bro, so it did sound like you did talk a lot of sense, but I couldn't hear you. So yeah, Simon, that really was towards you, bro. Like, people just want to make sure that they're being heard, you know. Don't get so upset when they ask the question. Or even, because you'll probably tell me you're not upset, but try to have a better poker face then, because it's obvious that it kind of, you're like thinking to yourself, why do they have to ask if we can hear them? Our attack just has too many strikers but no wingers. Plus there's Kenna. Yep, Kenna and Simmons. Yeah. And that's why I'm thinking vibes like, does it just make sense to come up with a system with 2 strikers just based on the personnel? Because it's not like we have a winger heavy setup, to be honest. A lot of the players that play wide could easily play in a 2 as a striker.
We can hear you.
Yes. No, good morning, coach. Last time we spoke, you described the Taylor Hines situation as fluid. Now, given that she had made an appearance in a friendly and she's now received another call up for a couple of friendlies, does this effectively close the door from the JFF's perspective in the sense that she will no longer be considered in the future, regardless of how circumstances change? And also, how would you describe that lack of certainty? Would you say that it's affecting your efforts to establish a settled core at this moment and build long-term team chemistry?
No, not at all. I mean, obviously, nothing's changed since the last time we spoke. You know, but really my focus and our staff focus now is really on those who are playing and those who are available. And like everything else, you revisit it over time. But right now our focus is on, you know, the 40 players within our pool and another 20 odd players coming through that we can choose from in terms of, you know, taking care of this match first and then switching our attention to the February, March window. So right now it's really about making sure that our attention is about the players who sacrificed a lot to be into this group and giving them the support they need heading into Saturday's game. So that's really where our focus is at the moment.
Thank you, Matthew. Let's now go.
So Sibala asked, how good is that Natasha Thomas girl as a forward? Well, look, I think if I was, I'm trying to think, like, she reminds me a lot of McKenna. I think Thomas is a little bit faster though. McKenna might have a little bit better touch. But that's debatable. I mean, look, they're very similar, powerful. I think they both have good strikes on them. I just think Thomas might have a little bit more speed, just straight up, you know, that 10-yard, 20-yard burst to go and get on the end of a through pass or something. I think Thomas has a little more speed than McKenna. But I do think McKenna has kind of been playing at higher levels in her career. Natasha has really just come through with Ipswich, you know, kind of, as Ipswich has grown in the women's game, so has she kind of on her profile. And she's like a, you know, history maker and a legend at Ipswich. I think for her now, getting a chance to play some international football, with Ipswich getting up to the championship level now in the women's game, you know, my hope is that she can get a move to the WSL, like the top division, and see how she can do it in a team, a bigger team. But I think she's solid though. I think she's solid. I think that for me, it's gonna be interesting to see, like, of her and Shania Hales, like which one becomes more of a favorite to the coach, you know. And I think this window is an opportunity for them because there's no Kayla. To see what they can bring to the table, because Kayla has been pretty much a mainstay. All them times Bonnie can't play, she injured everything. Kayla's been the one that comes every time and plays. And I know that she's not everybody's favorite, but I've always said that if she get chance, she probably don't need more than one. Like, she might miss one, but the next one she's gonna score. And I just think a lot of times when she plays, she just don't get many chances to score, to be honest. And then when we do play those games where she get chances, she typically come up with a goal. I think Trinidad, like opponent like Trinidad, when she played the other day and didn't score, you know, that she would probably look at that and say, boy, I should have scored in this game. You know, because I don't think she scored one in that game. Why I hate him and a women team looks so dangerous. I think it's something to do with how the players play, just their natural way of playing. You know, it's a bit more composed. It's a bit more technical. Maybe it's the French influence as opposed to the English influence. I'm not sure. But I've heard coaches that coach both types of players say that there's definitely a difference between the two type of players. And even though both have like good physicality and speed most of the time and strength, the Haitians typically are a little bit more technical, to be honest. College players aren't good enough, period. The gap between college and pro have widened significantly. Yeah, and the thing is, like with Jamaica's talent pool, perhaps they could still be looked at as players that could play, you know. But I even think Jamaica now have enough players playing professionally where probably don't need to be looking at college so much. But maybe we do, you know, because we do have some top level colleges using our players. So, you know, the college system in the US for women, I would say, is a lot different than the college system for the men in terms of professional level players playing in college. I just feel like in the men's game, when you have a chance to go pro at a young age, you don't go to college. But in the women's game, I still think, you know, it's changing. It's changing because there's a lot more girls going straight out of high school, or you know, juniors in high school going to the NWSL. You know, we saw the sisters do it. The Thompson sisters. You know, we saw Jaden Shaw. We saw, I mean, a countless number of them recently do that. You know, Lily Johannes was already overseas, so maybe she's a little different. But yeah, a lot of these young US players, even the girl that captain the U17 plays midfield. My gosh, I can't remember, from US. Anyway, she went pro straight. She didn't go to, I think she might have went 1 year to college. So yeah, either they're doing 1 year or they're going before they go to college, you know? Better coaching, right, and system, yeah. Coach need to go scout and recruit from both USA leagues. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Kind of missing a trick in the US, I think, to be honest. Seems to have that stocky, low center of gravity physicality, kind of like a bruiser. Yeah, she's a little taller than McKenna. I think McKenna a little shorter than her. But yeah, she's definitely well built, man, like strong. The selection minus Bonnie versus the team we picked against England. Is this a better team? It's a good question, you know. That's a good question. How different was the team against England, though? We picked up that nice 7 love. So Ingleton not there, McKenna not there, Cam not there, Mimi not there, Allison injured, Brooks was in goal, Naya Sampson not there, Blades not there, Jade Bailey not there, Walker is there. I would say this squad is actually better than the England one, because he said minus Bonnie. Okay, so I can't use Bonnie, but even minus Bonnie, I think Hales being there improves it. I think Drew Spence being there improves it. I think Tiana Harris being there improves it. I won't say Mia Mitchell improves it, but the only person I would say I'm a little surprised I haven't gone back for is Jade. But to be totally honest, like physicality-wise, Jade don't look right. The last few times I see her come play, I know she have the technical ability, but you have to move in the midfield. You cannot just stand. And even Izzy wasn't called in this England team. So she's a good addition as well. We're talking about technical and physical ability in the midfield. So, yeah, I actually think this one is better than the England one. You think Natasha will play like Primus? Really? So just behind the striker? I mean, she could play there. We'll see. She'll definitely play it differently than Primus does if she plays it. Because Primus really is like a defensive, like a defensive attacking midfielder almost. Like she really helps out in that midfield area more so than create things from that 10 rule. Younger girls in the States are getting there. Yes, yeah, that's true. Big up Eras in the building, legend. Big up Tycoon, what go on, bro? Well, I don't know what Chelsea deal with you, so you know, brother. Well, we'll get some revenge for you Sunday. Please, if you haven't already, hit the likes and subscribe, man, Eras. Let them know. Channel have to grow. Having 2 first division leagues in the US helps with having girls going straight to pro after high school. That's true. That's true. Because if them can't quite do the NWSL, let's go to the next round. Because them have championship now for that too. $21 likes on the mobile version. Which of our top college players do you think could go pro in a top league? I think Mimi Van Zanten can go pro. I think Soleil Washington can go pro. I think even Cameron Simmons can go pro, to be honest. I think all 3 of those girls will go pro. Now, when you say in a top league, are you just talking USA, England, France, Germany, like, you know, those leagues? I could see Soleil playing in the US in the NWSL. I could see Cameron playing there as well. I could see all 3 of those girls making it in the NWSL, to be honest. Yeah, Dre anyway, that said the midfield is better now. Izzy, yep. Izzy being on there is big. I love McPherson. Good player. Yeah, I'm a little surprised in a Derek G. Maybe it's that I didn't do. I need to check and see if Florida is still in the If Florida is still in the women's name there. So the Gators, nah, the Gators never make it, brother. Gators never make it to no playoffs. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know why. I guess Butts never showed enough in her games recently for Jamaica. But she has been, I mean, she's been converted to a straight up winger. And the coach picks her and still plays her at defense. So I don't know what's going on. Butts reach NWSL now? No, sir. She just finished her season. Yeah, Eras, one Gunners to the world, you know. Jamaica and Barcelona giving me mental health problems right now. Not good. Yeah, Tycoon, boy, the Gunners really balance out my life, you know, with them game how them played 2 games them. 4-1 and 3-1 over Spurs and Bayern. Definitely helped out, you know. I don't like how Busby don't list the players that didn't make it, and if they injured, like what McLaren used to do when he had a job. Yeah, it's something that I think helps to kind of eat, because you don't really want to, as a journalist, just ask only about the player them when I did it, because it just make it seem like, you know, like in a business about the player them were there. So I think McLaren doing that kind of helps to have the questions be more pointed towards the players in the squad. But like when you don't bring them up now, it kind of make the public say, okay, well, we want to kind of learn about it. So
go to Karen. Good morning, Karen. You can unmute and go ahead.
Karen.
Thank you, Simon. Morning, Simon. Morning, colleagues. Morning, coach. Coach, I have 2 quick questions. One, have all your players assembled in camp in St. Lucia? That's the one. And perhaps what's the mood like there, as you alluded to earlier, the country going through a difficult time now. Are all the players okay in terms of their family that they may have back home? And 2, I am aware that your contract ends at the end of December, I think. How does that impact on your preparation for this game and particularly the one in March of next year?
Yeah, I'll get the first question out of the way first. I mean, my contract is irrelevant. That's not really something anyone's really focused on. We're pushing to move forward. In the time being, we'll have a sit down, have a conversation in terms of how that looks moving forward. So really, that's not really something that we're worried about at this particular point in time, and we'll address that when it's necessary. I think really it's about the players, like everything else. They are starting to arrive in. Most of them played yesterday within their respective leagues, so they're literally on their way and trickling in as we speak, and we'll start hitting the ground tomorrow. As for the mood, yeah, as you can imagine, everyone who selected, even not within this group, has been impacted some way or another. You know, whether or not they're directly on the island, or they have family directly on their island. Most of them do have relatives and family impacted one way or the other. And so, yeah, we're all going through a difficult time. We'll continue to do so, but we have to be unified and stick together and be really mindful of again, you know, the beauty of what sport does and what it can do for people. And I think they'll be motivated by that into Saturday's game, knowing at this particular time that we can do a lot to cheer up some of those who are going through a difficult period.
Jason talk compensation. Kiki Van Zatten play here in Houston for the dash. Guess her salary. If I had to guess, probably like between 60 and 80,000 a year, probably. Because I know some stars in the league make upwards of like, 150, 200. And I don't think Kiki would be considered a star. Don't think she'd be one of the lowest paid either. Because she come from good stock and she was a high draft pick and things. So let's say probably like 70 odd, 80 at the most, 85 at the most. Hope girls can give something to cheer about with good young talent and Bonisha. Let's see chemistry, which is important. Yeah, let's see. If they could have gone pro and were getting offers, I believe they would have already, because they can now make good money in football and finish school online. Yeah, that's true, positive vibration. But I do think like the ones at FSU is a little bit different because, I mean, they really don't have to rush their thing. Like they can, like the ones, I mean, first of all, there's so many good players there that if you're a younger player, chances are you're not going to be playing as much as you want because they have so many players, and with the rules in the college sports where in the college football where you can just blow out, sub in, sub out, like the coach utilize a big setup, a lot of players play, like, at least 20 players going to play a game and then going to sub in and out and all this stuff. So it's kind of like a thing where you wait your turn at FSU. So when time you have been the one subbing out, once you get a little older now, probably you're going to be the one that's there on longer, So, and then it's not like, you win the championship, so it's like, oh, this is the best time to leave. Florida State's going to be in the running for the foreseeable future. That's based on how they recruit and, what their program's been able to do. So, yeah, it's like, I get your point. Like some would leave for the offers, but I think it depends what school you're at. I think if you're at a smaller school and an offer comes in, you might jump at it quicker because I just don't think the offers will dry up when you're at a FSU. Like you're getting too much exposure, and the track record is too high from that program. Yeah, man. Let's go to the Reggae Girlz. Simmons has been the starting right back for FSU for the last 2 seasons. Expect to see her there for Jamaica. Yeah, we'll see. Now it's time for Blackwood to show off her talent in the squad. She's very athletic with these college players getting in the squad. It brings competition. Yeah, man, I think Blackwood can be an asset as long as we just play her further up the field.
Simon, one follow-up, please.
Go ahead, Karen.
Coach, I'm not sure I heard you saying whether all the players are in camp, and also I noticed it's a 21-player squad. Can you talk to us about any challenges you might have had in terms of making it the customary 23-player squad?
Yeah, well, we have some players, as I said before, we had some players on standby, so we'll wait to see what happens in some of their NCAA games. And again, the reason why that was important is, we've had a slew of injuries. At this time of the year, you've seen that both in the men and women games. I mean, the schedules are packed. Most of these players or sometimes these players are playing 2-3 matches per week. And like everything else, we've had to manage their load with their clubs or their schools. And the players who haven't been selected. It's because of the same criteria. They just have not been playing enough matches within the last 6 weeks. So we wanted to make sure in a short period of time that we had players who were playing for the most part regularly, or they're in professional or college environments where they're still in season. And so that was a big part of it. And yeah, I mean, like I said, a couple of them will be starting to come in because they played last night, but by the end of this evening and some of the afternoon, we'll have most of the squad here, bar one or two with connecting flights, and we'll be able to hit the ground running with our first training session tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Karen. Marlon McFarlane, go ahead, Marlon.
Good morning, Coach and Simon. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
That's why
Yes,
Coach,
we are aware of the Heinz situation, but without going far as naming names, are there any other dual nationals that are in the pipeline or we are currently recruiting that was not, in time for this window, or possibly will be in time for the next window?
Well, coaches always like to keep their cards close to their chest, but at the end of the day, all I would say is, we're constantly evaluating the group and trying to add not just bodies, but qualities in particular areas where we can. So to answer your question, yes, there's one or two that we're looking at that are in the process, but obviously at this particular point in time, we won't be naming names. But we're really confident about what we've had. Like I said, I think one of the things over the last year that has been, again, based on injury and just a little bit with, strategically for sure is how do we integrate some younger players into the group to bring that energy, but also provide that pathway from our youth teams into the senior team is really, really important. So yeah, I mean, there's always players that we're looking at, but I think a lot of the players that we are looking at as well are some names of younger ones that are within our current system. They're probably not household names, but probably will be so in the next few years, and especially with 2031 on the horizon. We really want to see how some of these players can do and put some camps maybe even outside of this particular FIFA window. So there'll be some new faces, some new names being brought in, but that's just to make sure that we continue to push this program forward so that we can be formidable in the region for years to come.
Thank you very much, Marlon. Let's hear from Ricardo. Good morning, Ricardo. Go ahead.
Thanks to the breakthroughs at St. Jude Children's Research Hospital.
Good morning to you, Simon, and good morning, everyone. Good morning to you, Coach. You mentioned earlier about managing workload of some of the players. Specifically, we know that Khadija Bonishaw has had her injury issues. What have the conversations been like from her club in terms of how much she is able to give, and talking specifically about minutes now? Is she at the stage where we can expect her to come in and play a full 90 minutes if required, although I suspect that many will feel it might not be required on Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, look, the club wouldn't release her unless they felt that she could fulfill 90 minutes. What happens after that will be up to us and the conversations that we'll have internally. We continue to have a good dialogue and conversations with Man City, which was what we kind of alluded to along the way anyways, is to making sure that we can manage, her loads and making sure that, again, when she's healthy for Man City, then she's healthy for us. And so, not being able to manage that heading into a crucial game like this was something that we've had those discussions and we'll continue to do so, because it's important that, like, if everything else, not just Bunny, but all the players, we've established really good relationships with their clubs, with their schools, so that we share the data that we have coming out of camps with them, and they share that with us coming in. And so our medical staff and high performance staff do a really good job of having those discussions, as I do with the players coming in. And so we'll make sure that, we'll do what's best for her, and consequently her and the others heading into the match. So all of them will be available. Something changes in a week, that's something different, but all the players selected should be available to play 90 minutes for sure.
Thanks, Ricardo. Appreciate that. Gregory Bryce, go ahead, Gregory. Morning.
Hi, good morning. Just two questions really quickly. The first one, Coach, how important is it for the girls to get a really strong start in the qualifiers, knowing that there's been a change in the format for the CONCACAF Championship, being that it will be a straight knockout rather than a cup game? So important is it to build that momentum from early?
Yeah, no, it's a great point, and it's what's needed. We want to get off to a great start, have a great week of training, leading into the match, and we're approaching each and every match with the respect it deserves. So our preparation this week will be thorough, to ensure that when we go out there, we're firing on all cylinders to the best of our ability. So yeah, well, it's important we get off to a great start. Result is the most important thing, but it's also important that we have a strong performance, and we're laying the foundation for strong performances throughout this campaign, because I think that's really important as well.
And there's a follow-up question, if I can.
Go ahead.
Coach, you've been speaking about the importance of these young players for the last year and a half now. One player I've seen you've really been carrying into the squad a lot is Emma McPherson. She's the former under-20 captain, been in the camp, I think, 3 times now in a row, as well as the return of Chanel Buckley, who's recently moved to FSU. Can you speak about those two specifically, on the defense side of the field, one defense, one attacking, and how much they have been learning in the national program?
Yeah, no, I think we'll start with McPherson first. I mean, I've known her from as a younger player coming out of Canada, but she's progressed through our system really well. And the times when I've stopped by the U20 training session, she radiates positivity and energy. And she's a sponge to learning. She wants to learn, and she's versatile. You can ask her to play anywhere, even goal, and she'll take that on. And I think that's what you want. And you have to accept your role, and for her to come into the senior group and just be a sponge and listen to the older players and take everything on with an absolutely excellent attitude. And that has resonated with everybody in the group. I mean, we call her Smiler. She's always smiling. She always got a great personality, but she's versatile. She's versatile as well. She can play in the background, in the back line. She can play as a number 6, is what we're making possibly to integrate her in, because she's good technically. She reads the ball well. She communicates well. She just has to get up to speed in terms of the match speed of this level. Buckley is another great player. She's just come off the back-to-back. Literally 2 nights ago, she won junior college transfer championship again, where she was a leading scorer at Daytona College. Spoke to her the other night, excited for her. She's leaving a great legacy at that junior college, and now she's off to Florida State, where I'm sure she'll do the same. But she provides a really good ability to play between the lines, where she can pick up the ball and be direct, run at players, take players on, and create overloads, or allow us to create overloads, because she's always running at players and allow for us to go and support and attack. So she does things on the ball that is very dynamic, and she brings a very dynamic approach to the way that we want to play, and her ability to play numerous positions as well has been incredible to see her growth. And I think as she only gets older and a little bit stronger now as well, you're going to see even more of those technical qualities come out. But yeah, those are 2 players, like you said, probably at the other end of the pitches, but the 2 bright young players that have shown very well within the senior camp over the last year.
Thank you, Bryce. Much appreciated. Thank you very much to the members of the media for your presence.
All right, so that's pretty much it. You see, the last question he just touched on two of the younger players in the squad, Jalen McPherson and Chanel Buckley, and had good things to say about both. And I agree with most of what he said there. I think Buckley, somebody that I think maybe we put in some situations she wasn't quite ready for in the past. But sometimes that's what it takes for them to get opportunities. And she did take advantage of the opportunity, went to junior college, was a junior college All-American last year, won the national championship. Many thought she might go ahead and make the step to a bigger Division I team, then decided to go back for another season, continue her development, and lifted the trophy again. Another outstanding season, more than likely will be an All-American again. And she has made the move to, arguably one of the best programs in Division I women's football in the States, Florida State. So definitely she has done the most with the opportunities she has been given. Tycoon asked what my thoughts are on Rishaya Walker development. Well, look, she played again in college for La Salle. Then she stepped up into the, I guess you could call it, the semi-pro ranks at the USLW League. That's like the lower division of the championship in the women's game. And yeah, she did fairly decent during the season. The W League is just kind of a summer league, and it typically has players that are still playing in college and are kind of in the middle of that transition from amateur level to the pros. And look, she had a decent season. She was a player that got a lot of minutes for Lancaster during the season. Like I said, it's not the longest season in the world. I think their season is 10 regular season matches, and obviously if you get through, you would play playoffs and everything. But they had their 10 games and didn't finish high enough in the table. And that would have been just a summer tournament. So we're talking from May till about June. And to my knowledge, I don't believe that Rishaya was playing this season again for La Salle, because I would have thought she would have graduated by now. Maybe somebody can correct me there if I'm wrong on that, but I don't think that she was actually at La Salle again this season. But she did play in the spring, so let's see. Maybe she did play this year. Let me see what she actually did. All right, this is spring though. Stats. Yeah, she didn't play no game in. Let me see. So I don't have this season on it. So I don't have this season schedule. Hold on, people. I do want to check. I just want to see. A10 tournament box score. Individual. Yeah, man, she not did it. So I don't know. I mean, she didn't play this season for La Salle. She was listed as a junior last year, so I guess I don't know if she went pro or what happened. I don't know. But all I see as far as her career is she's at Lancaster, and the season they're done from June or July. Jason, what do you know about Davia Richards? Where is she now? The mall. This is one that is really upsetting for me. It hit close to home. So a virgin of mine coaches in Florida at a school. I think it's NAIA. And he got her in. Got her a scholarship. She came and didn't even last a full week. Said it's not for her, she's homesick, all this other foolishness. So yeah, she basically had an opportunity very similar to what Shani would have gotten, an opportunity to, go to, you know, perhaps a league that maybe she could just dominate or do really well in, and let, you know, the bigger coaches in higher divisions see her and potentially move up the ladder, just like how Shanil is gonna do. But for whatever reason, just could not mentally, he just couldn't pull it off. Didn't want to be there, you know, just couldn't see the light at the end of the tunnel, even though it might have looked bleak in that moment. So yeah, that one is a real sad case. I couldn't tell you where she is now. Yeah, I worry a bit for her, just based on what I know of the situation and some of the decisions that I saw her making. Yeah, anybody that knows her or, you know, is a mentor to her, trust me, she needs all the help she can get based on what I know. So yeah, I mean, and it's a player that I've always spoken highly on because I like her ability. But what I've learned of her personally, it's not a good look. It's not a good look, Damal. Honestly, coaches will like a player like McPherson, good attitude and willingness. Yeah, just an overall good person to have around. You know, that's true. Very, very true. So yeah, the squad is out. Match will be this Saturday, as I said, local time of 2 p.m. in Jamaica. And just to one more time, Sydney Snyder, Rebecca Spencer, Leah Brooks added to that. Those are the goalkeepers. Kanya Plummer, our defenders now, Kanya Plummer, Naya Cardoza, Tiana Harris, Chantel Swaby, Mia Mitchell, and Jelia McPherson. Then in midfielders, we have Tiffany Cameron, Atlanta Primus, Sade Adamalakan, Izzy Groves, Drew Spence, Denisha Blackwood. Forwards, Natasha Thomas, Jody Brown, Rishaya Walker, Shania Hales, Kalissa Van Zanten, Kiki, Shanil Buckley, and Khadija Bonnie Shaw. So that is what we have there. And in the comment section now, I'm just going to post what I think. I'm just going to post what I think. And not what I think, but what I would do if I had a starting lineup to choose. I don't think we have that much cover in the fullback areas, so I would be playing a back three. I would probably play a 3-4-1-2 system. And it would go a little something like this. Goalkeeper Spencer, right center back Plummer, center back in the middle of the three Harris, left center back I would put Allison. Right midfield I would put Tiffany Cameron. Left midfield I would have Denisha Blackwood. Central midfielders I would have Drew Spence and Izzy Groves. Central attacking midfield I would play Sade, and strikers I would have Shaw and Thomas. So that would be my starting 11 versus Dominica. 3-4-1-2, Spencer in goal, Plummer, Harris, and Swaby as the center backs. Right midfield or right wing, well, right midfield, how I want them to play. I want them to be on the front foot. Right midfield would be Tiffany Cameron. Left midfield would be Denisha Blackwood. Then we'll have Spence and Izzy Groves in that midfield, and they can kind of decide who's going to be a little bit more of the sitters, but I want both of them to get involved going forward as well, be that link. Then we have Sade Adamalokun in that half space, feeding Shaw and Natasha Thomas. That's what I would go with. Some people I'm sure would probably say, why not Jody in the cam? If I'm going to start Jody, I would just start her up front with either Bonnie. Well, not either Bonnie. I would start her up front with Thomas, but I will go with Thomas and Shaw from the start. That's what I would do. So yeah. But people, 2 o'clock Saturday, make sure you tune in. I won't be able to do a live watch along, but definitely we'll be doing a recap in the evening once that game has been played, just to let you know what I thought about the tactics and how we looked in the game. Won't be doing any full tactical preview shows just because I would be lying if I was to come out and do anything talking about what Dominica will do. And I think this is more about us and more about, you know, with the pressure of World Cup, what do we look like? You know, yes, I know that we're heavy favorites, but it still is a World Cup game. You start Spencer. I don't think she's played any minutes this season. Yeah, actually would. Oh, she was at University of New Hampshire this year. Okay, so she went into the transfer portal. Got you. I did not know that. I did not know that at all. Thanks for that shout. I had no knowledge of that. So that's why I love my people that watch my show. You know, I know them watch football like me, but I completely missed this transfer. So let's see what she did this year. Not bad. 5 goals, 3 assists in 16 games played. She had 14 starts. Not bad, not bad, not bad. She's a graduate student now, so I don't think she have any more eligibility after this year. But yeah, so okay, so at least I know she has played some football since that she played against Maine November the 2nd. That would have been her last game of the season. So she's been out of football, like playing with her team for about a month almost. But she did play a full fall season. Yeah, I would start Spencer, man. I don't think Snyder's season been done for a little while. Okay, so she actually just played her last game. Just were there on the 22nd. Finished last in the league. She made what, 8 appearances over the course of the season. Play 11 games. Right, rough pan Sydney enough to start her, you know, but brother, Rebecca was better than her. I'm sorry. To me. And Leah Brooks. I don't know. I don't know, but like if you don't play like Leah Brooks and Sydney in a game like this, like when did they ever play? You know? But I don't know. I'm still gonna start Spencer. If Spencer don't start, I'm not gonna throw up man and say, yo, oh. Because it's true. I don't think Spencer even play a game. Maybe she might have. Did she just play in the League Cup the other day? Because them just did play some League Cup match, you know. She might have to get a run out in one of them games there. Let me see. Nope. She at least back on the bench now since like the 11th of November. But yeah, she don't play no football this season at all. She's 34 years of age now. Goalkeeper helps though. Yeah, I mean, the Super League is definitely higher than that W League that Rashaya Walker was playing, but I mean, yeah, it is what it is. There's still like 2 levels above this because there's a championship and then there's NWSL and then this is like the 3rd tier basically, I think. I think that's how the pyramid goes now. Them confuse me with this latest thing with them just do, but I think how I have it is right. Yo, positive vibrations. Not Kiki for Thomas, but actually, now that I look on everything, but I actually play but I switch it up. I'm gonna tell you. But I play Kiki for Sade. That's what I would change. Yeah. And if Sade gonna start, should I start over easy? Yeah, I shouldn't. Kiki have to start. Sorry. She have to start. She'll play the little true past them. All right, people. Well, that's the Reggae Girl segment. It should be on CONCACAF YouTube because that's where I watched the Antigua versus Nicaragua game today. All right, people. Let's get right into what I'm sure I shouldn't say most, but I'm sure a lot of you want to hear my thoughts on, and that is the article that I saw today in regards to Reggae Boyz players speaking about additions to the team before the World Cup, and some quotes and everything in there, and a bit surprised. It was about what, 10 hours ago. It's about 10 hours ago, and it's from ESPN.com. Yeah, 7:21 a.m. Eastern time today. So I woke up to this article this morning. And I wanted to go ahead and read it and react to it with you guys right here on the show. So about 50 of you in the chat between the two platforms, whether you're watching it in portrait or landscape mode, make sure you're tapping up the like button. Some people reacting to this. 2 people laugh and 3 people say fire. All right, so let's read it. Mason Greenwood at World Cup would be farce, not fair, and it says Jamaica players. So even the way that's the headline is right there just had my attention peaked to begin with. Like, what? Jamaican players said this? So right there in the start, it says Jamaica players Isaac Hayden and Amari'i have voiced their unease at the prospect of Mason Greenwood joining the squad before the World Cup, claiming it would be a farce and not fair. Greenwood, who has won England cap, switched allegiances to Jamaica earlier this year, and in August, received his passport, opening the door for him to represent the nation of his grandparents. While the 24-year-old did not accept a call-up for World Cup qualifiers against Trinidad and Tobago and Bermuda in September and is keeping his international options open, JFF President Michael Ricketts told The Athletic he still hopes Greenwood will represent the Reggae Boyz before the World Cup, as he was excited to get his documentation sorted out. That, however, may not go down well with his Jamaica teammates, who have worked hard to leave the nation on the brink of the World Cup with Inter-Continental playoffs against New Caledonia and then potentially DR Congo to come in March. Yo, the way the man put that make it seem like, yo, we reached the Inter-Continental playoffs. This man don't realize that we never even want to go here. So, the way we put it, who have worked hard to leave the nation on the brink of the World Cup. That's like the best way you could possibly put that we got there. Anyway, I've only played for Jamaica for a year, and there was some resistance to me when I started, but I have played 12 games, and everyone can see my passion and the way I play the game. Hayden, formerly of Newcastle and Arsenal and now at QPR, told Athletic, I give everything on the pitch, and I wanted to be there to help Jamaica progress to the World Cup. The JFF are obsessed with names and trying to recruit more players. They want to have the best team on the pitch, but I said it to the JFF. If a player is not willing to commit for the last round of qualifying, unless they're injured, I do not see why they should be joining the group in March or at the end of the season if we qualify. There is no way that should be allowed to happen. Greenwood was suspended by Manchester United in January 2022 over allegations relating to a young woman and faced charges including attempted and assault before the Crown Prosecution Service announced the case had been discontinued in February 2023. He's rebuilding his career at Marseille and leads the league on scoring charts this season with 10 goals in 12 games. The quality of the player, his numbers, what he's producing is of the highest level, Hayden admitted. But it comes down to principle and integrity. If players can just rock up because of a World Cup, it would make the whole thing a farce. That would say a lot about the player and the organization for allowing that to happen. Charlton defender Bell said Greenwood or any other player, Everton's Dwight McNeil is also in the reckoning. Joining up late would be controversial. So he didn't go as far as calling it a farce, but he did say it would be controversial. And he goes on to say, many of us for years have put our blood, sweat, and tears into playing for the nation, with a lot of things happening in the background. We've had to deal with all that. It wouldn't seem fair to people who have been through that whole process and will never get a chance to play at a World Cup. It's a bit controversial. He also said a group conversation would need to be had before any new player joined. Definitely, especially when it's a World Cup, you want good vibes and good energy around the squad. You wouldn't want any distance between any players. England boss Thomas Tuchel said in September he had not spoken to Greenwood and made clear the Marseille forward is not in his thoughts. So that's an article that came out today, as I said, and trying to see, like, they don't say who wrote the article. It's a bit of a farce. Who wrote this article, people? Who wrote the article? They purposely not put who wrote this article because they know that people are going to scrutinize it, or what? Am I missing it, people? Who wrote the article? It just says ESPN. It just has a bunch of words. It has quotes talking about the Athletic and who talked to Bell. Charlton defender Bell said Greenwood. So many of us for years, blah, 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 blah. He stated. So they reference the Athletic when they talk about Hayden. And I know that Hayden did an interview in the Athletic, so that's definitely plausible. But the part with Amari'i Bell, unless he was also interviewed by the Athletic, it's just interesting that they didn't really reference where Bell's quotes came from. But let's not pick apart whether they said them or not. Let's just talk about what they actually said, because this is something that we have heard a lot of people get pushback about. A lot of people, I was just checking if by miracle Bowser scored last night, because I fell asleep on this last night. Did not watch it. Don't even know if the man got a game. But if I had to guess, he didn't get a game. Yeah, he doesn't even play for this team anymore. My gosh. Yeah, so yeah. First thing is just like what they said. What they said is, what do we find fault with, right? What do we find fault with? ESPN is not that credible still, you know. I'm not saying it is a lie. Well, look, I tend to, because I know that the Athletic had an extensive interview with Hayden. So the fact that them kind of reference the Athletic interview when talking about Hayden's quotes, make it a little more believable to me. The whole Bell part, though, was just kind of added in there, and I don't know where those would have come from, you know? Greenwood is needed, said ENT. What? Bell and Hayden can stay, said Drew. Bring Mason. Well, I don't know. I am not sure. Now, one thing I will say, it's kind of interesting that even in this part, he says the JFF are obsessed with names and trying to recruit more players. They want to have the best team on the pitch. But I said to the JFF, if a player is not willing to commit for the last round, so in Hayden's mind, committing for this last round from September, October, November was for him that cutoff period that everybody always asks, what would your cutoff be? What would your cutoff be? So in his mind, his thought process is, if you couldn't come help us at least at the end of this qualifying run, just the last 6 games, then you don't really want to help us, like really and truly. You just want to come if we make it type of thing. And he doesn't think that's right, right? Now, I think it's interesting that he started out by saying, you know, I have been playing for just a year, and I've played 12 games. So he found it important to say, I've only played for a year, and there was some resistance to me when I started, right? So it's just interesting that the resistance he would have gotten in the beginning, you know, was because he had made comments publicly that, you know, he would do whatever it takes to try to make England's team, and you know, he basically would play until his feet stopped working, you know, and then he would give up on his England dreams. Now, of course, at the time when he came to play for Jamaica, he was still employed by Newcastle, but not really playing football for them. Definitely not in the first team. And so it was almost like a situation where, okay, this is still an avenue for me to get some first team minutes, added bonus of us making a World Cup potentially. Now, can one say that Hayden has played as if he doesn't care? No, we can't say that. You can tell when he's playing. He's committed, he's fully committed, he's running as hard as he can, putting his body on the line. That's not the thing. But one thing that I think is he's missing in this whole thing is, well, he never really spoke out against some of the resistance that was there to him, except in this quote that I see right here. And maybe he feels comfortable bringing that up because he knows he's about to talk about another player and give them resistance. So I guess he feels in the right to offer resistance to someone else wanting to play, since he was offered the same resistance. But it also looks like he would have rather not had any resistance either, because he felt the need to mention it. So it's just interesting that someone that has gone through some resistance from the fan base, based on him not committing to us at the time when we would have wanted them to, or most fans would have wanted them to. I find it interesting that he had to point that out when talking about how he feels about if Mason or anyone else were to join when they could potentially join. Now, Amari'i Bell, I think of the two players, probably has a much better leg to stand on as far as commitment arguments are concerned, because you know, I think Amari'i Bell, you know, to my knowledge, once he realized that, you know, it was an opportunity and it's a possibility of him to play for us and everything, you know, as soon as he could, he came. And, you know, I think he's one of the players that, you know, if he's fit and available, he's definitely going to come if he's called. You know, and I actually think that about all the players, to be honest, that come. I don't buy into, it's to pick and choose for some of them. And, so, you know, I just think some of them are just injury prone and they're just injured all the damn time. You know, I don't think it's because they're just dodging, coming for these certain windows and these, and I don't think that's the case, to be honest. You know, no, do some of them exercise more caution when it comes on to the importance of a game and what that might mean if they travel or not? Sure. But, you know, I think if every single game was a game to get us, you know, some trophy or something like that, every player would come, you know, but the games, you'd be lying if you were to say that every single game has been as important over the last 4-year cycle of national team games, you know? So I just feel like people that want to find fault with the players will find fault for times when they don't come, and those who want to make apologies for them will find the apologies to make. You know, it just depends on how you feel about the players, how you will talk about them. But I do think that part of why this won't be taken well by some fans is the fact that Hayden was in Greenwood's position at one point, you know, being sought out by the JFF. And, you know, while Hayden is a bit different in that, you know, it was never reported that Hayden got documentation and then decided, oh, I want to keep my options open later. He just straight up told us his truth, which was, at this current moment, I don't see myself playing for you guys. I still want to play for England, you know. And people beat him for that. And I was like, yo, you guys should respect this more than a man that kind of have you in the dark wondering if they want to come or not. Like, he just put it on the table and said, I don't want to come at this moment. Simple. And to be totally honest, Mason Greenwood could take a page out of that book. You know, like, the only defense I'll have of Greenwood, and I've said this many times before, I personally have never heard Greenwood himself, any of his representatives on any platform, any newspaper, anywhere, say that I am ready to play for Jamaica. Nowhere. Because if that can be produced to me, then I can beat Mason Greenwood all day. Because why did you say this and 3 windows pass and I don't see you come play? If you actually said this to someone, that yes, you want to come play and help us qualify. Because that's the narrative, you know, that there was this interview or something happened that all of us were, after that we knew Mason Greenwood was coming for the World Cup qualifiers, but that doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. Bell and Hayden can move up. Of all the players, Kiki may have the best control and reads the game in motion as good or better than everyone else. So I can't see why she's not in every starting 11. Yeah, that was a mistake on my end. I was always planning to have her in the starting lineup. I don't know how I ended up not putting her in there first. Bell's spot is not sure, so let him talk. Yeah, Giant, it's a weird one, bro. I mean, I wouldn't say it has to be propaganda because the man them could really feel that way about it, you know. Now Hayden sound a lot. Hayden sounds a lot more adamant about it than Bell, if you ask me, based on the tone of their quotes. Which is kind of what makes it stand out, because Hayden is the one that I would think on these topics would probably just kind of maybe stay neutral, because he's been on both ends. You know, he's had the public beat him for not committing, right? Even though he never came out and said he was wanting to commit, just like how Mason Greenwood has never come out and said he's ready to commit. We just hear that he's acquired documents and think that means, oh, it's time for him to commit or whatever the case is. But yeah, he's never come out and said it, so we don't know. We don't really know. You know, we don't know what his mindset is. We just know that him saying keeping him options open. So I don't think that means he wants to play for England or Jamaica. It just means he wants to keep his options open. And I don't think he has many options right now, because if Tuchel was going to call him, they would have called him already. Like, it's not like he's playing any better than he was last year. He was doing the same shit last year. They need Hayden, but I think Bell might have to clean out his locker room. That's why I think Bell, if you notice, man, Bell wasn't so, you know, him just say it would be controversial, and I think the man them should at least be able to have a chat amongst the players. That's reasonable. But Hayden just said, no, it's not for go on, you know. So I think Hayden also knows that, bro, I look around this makeup of this squad, you know, and if they get rid of me, boy, them not in the midfield, so I can talk however more I talk, you know. The only player spot that is sure are those that do not possess the skill, talent, or football intelligence. King, Whisper, Dixon, Brown, Anglin, etc. A goddamn disgrace. Oh, you said the only player spot that is sure are those that don't possess the talent or football intelligence, skill. Jeez. So all of them, King, Whisper, Dixon, Brown, Anglin, etc. Pastor, blaze the fire. This is the narrative to get to the castigating the diaspora-born players. So ESPN is complicit in the diaspora-born attack. I don't know, brother. Bosa game is tonight. No, man, they played last night, man. It was midnight last night. Yeah. I mean, he's still on the squad, but yeah, he doesn't play. Bless up, Grimy. Bring up your girl Shirley around, you know. Andre, you know. I mean, if you're in the day night press conference, but I asked where Andre in day night pecking orders, you know. Let Gray and Amari'i say that. So Grimy say, if a man wants to say it, it have to be a certain type, you know. But wouldn't Amari'i fall in that category too, Grimy, or no? The window where he missed the last couple. I think when we missed the September window too, and then the day after the November one or the October one, sorry. Corey saying, don't believe it. The JFF asked Greenwood why he was getting his Jamaican passport. The man never had no join no Jamaica team with JFF. Bosa game is tonight. No, they played last night. But him never get no game. Basically saying they've been in contact with England. He's hoping when Tuchel do a 60-man next week. If not, Greenwood will decide. Oh, really? No, I haven't seen that. How long would it take for him to live in France to possibly represent them? Rotted, all that. I would think at least like 5 years. At least, maybe more. Tuchel doing a final 60-man call to every player next week, he said. Okay. Well, we'll see. Maybe Tuchel convince the EFA that he want to at least have that phone call with him and just see where his head is at, you know. But I think Tuchel is going to let the EFA decide on this one. Don't and another thing is like, you know, I just don't, England, it has an embarrassment of riches in that attacking wide area, if we're being honest. I mean, yes, I think if you pick all the best players that could play for England, Greenwood makes the top 4 of those players. But it's not like, you know, 5, 6, 7, 8 are trash. There's just so many players to choose from. So with that being said, I just don't believe that they want to make it about Mason Greenwood when they go to the World Cup, because it's going to become that. And they really have aspirations of winning it. So, you know, we've seen him, you know, I think Bellingham wasn't picked for actually not playing minutes and what he says, but a lot of conspiracy theorists believe it was just to kind of take him down a notch with his behavior in the team and emphasize chemistry and how smooth the camp went with the players and how they were there for each other and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, the conspiracy theorists were kind of saying, well, he's saying all those things because Bellingham wasn't around. And so with how the English media is, I think Tuchel will want to, you know, minimize the tabloid fodder type of selections. You know, if a squad can get picked and it's just so vanilla, like nobody can really pick it apart and say, yo, how do man do this, sir? You know, he would probably prefer it that way. Maybe you never know. Big up Umbrella Sports in the building. Hope all is well with you. Gunners. Bono was, yeah, he wasn't on the bench. I checked. I was trying to stay up fight last night, but I'm fall asleep wickedly after I done seasoning up the food and putting in the fridge. That was about maybe 9:30. And the whole time I did season up and I prep. I beat some beer and thing and I beat some music, and yeah man, by the time I turn and I sit down and get off my feet, about 5 minutes later, someone said, bust some sleep. But I will never get back a starting over Gilberto Mora unless he's injured. For real. It's the way to keep the young talent in the diaspora available for England forever. Same reason Steve McLaren was hired. Wow. Wow. Wait, say top 3. Yeah, I mean, that's it. The reason why I say 4 is because most of the time, Tuchel will probably have 4 winger in him squad. So I say him there in the top 4 for wingers, where Tuchel could pick. But it's not like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 is this huge drop. You know what I mean? England needs the World Cup. Greenwood unsettle the squad. Yeah, he would have had to have been integrated already. I don't think they're going to do it so late if they're going to bring him back. It would have to be a 2030 cycle thing. If he play for England, him and Saka wing. Yeah, we could have seen that. There's an article online, supposedly penned by Greenwood, saying he respectively. Yeah, I saw what was it, Sports Blem put it on his community tab. I can't say real or fake yet, and I purposely never added it into this because at least with this ESPN one, I was able to corroborate a few things before coming on. You know, I don't want to come and say, oh, it's fake or it's not real or blah blah blah. But yeah, I will do some more digging, and the next time these topics are being talked about, I will let you know what I came up with. If not before then, me link you offline and make you know about what I'm fine. These people think footballers is to choose them future in football to please them. I don't think I will ever get, even though I would like to see most of the better players play for Jamaica still. Yeah, selfishly, as Jamaica fans, of course, we're like, yo, I'm not business wait to for them career or wait not to for them career. If them come play for it with a blood clot. Been I tell people long time, say Greenwood has another option. The player never completed the switch. When he requested the switch, someone convinced him not to follow through. Yo, one thing, you know, enough we are expert on what Greenwood I do from him never doing, brother. If England call Greenwood, they will win the World Cup. So you think sad now? I mean, I don't know. Naturally, I think so because you have individuals in the team don't like him. Yeah, we know Bellingham. I don't know if he did publicly say it, but we know say him not depend on the Greenwood. Yeah, him not depend on it. Thanksgiving dinner. Yeah, I want to tell you, say apart few now when that show you done. Time for reheat. Greenwood is better than Saka in England squad, but Arsenal's fans not ready for that convo. Here the same man, you know. I try remember. Yo, him better than Cole Palmer too. So tap nice. Euros 2028 to be held in England is also a big draw for Greenwood. Yeah, but the even worse, brother. Can you imagine Greenwood make him return to the England side in England with all of the blood not when brother. You must say one the female them and the different people them. You must say one the female them and the different people them burn out England side and boycott stadium and all kind of madness. Yo, no sir. Them now want that smoke there. The ego and the media that surrounds the English team would be a huge blow up. Yeah, exactly. Be careful of the turkey enough. Because I heard someone in Jamaica bawling that they need Jankro in an area because them and turkey look alike to be. You know, so we don't get no turkey, bro. We don't eat no turkey today. Girl, me I did with laugh. They say better than them both. Yeah. Me not thinking better than Saka or Palmer, to be honest, you know. Yeah, to be fair. But you know, if a man argue that, me not go argue him down. You'll have to just come with your points and tell me why you say that. But me can't say him better than them two man there, to be honest. So who else have Greenwood fatigue? Well, me don't really have fatigue still because me don't really live on the thing every single day, you know. All right, people, to be honest, we're over 2 hours on the running of the show. So we have a nice full show already. And we like to keep it watchable to watch it back. So once it get past the 2.5, 3 hour, 4 hour, nobody now sit down and watch it back. So there was one other topic I wanted to get on. There was one other topic I wanted to get on to, and that was the Michael Coley accepting the coaching role. But you see that topic? I believe that topic deserves much more than a little afterthought. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna edit up the video title when we're done and it's out, and just take off the Coley part off of it, right? Take the Coley part out of the description. And the next time we will a reasoning, that will definitely be on the docket for a discussion, right? Because as I said, that's something where I think deserve a good hour what a conversation. Because a lot of questions need to be asked on disappointment. And since this one with Bell and Hayden was a little more fresh in terms of it being an article that just came out today, I wanted to go ahead and talk about that. If I didn't get to, I wanted to make sure I got to that. If I didn't get to something, I was okay with it being the Coley, because guess what? I don't think they're done yet with what they're doing with this staff. There's definitely going to be more appointments to come along with the Coley, and so I want to go and watch the space and see what go on, and they don't know. Once we put all the evidence together, we can have one big reasoning time, and that one will probably warrant Pop's presence as well, because I know he's invested in this whole coaching business and what's been going on. So, yeah, man, that is the plan, and that I already clean up the description and the title for the two video them now, because as I said, that Miguel Coley conversation of how he came about to be the assistant, how the negotiations had to happen, and just want to know, like, is there anything in this paperwork and contract for Coley that gives him any assurances after these 2 games? Because I would think that would have been the biggest hold up as to why he wouldn't take the role right away, because he's already said that he wants to get involved with the national team again. Definitely wants to coach it in a head coaching perspective at some point. But a lot of people argue that maybe him taking the assistant role to speed might not be the best for his aspirations down the road to be the head coach. So these are the things that we didn't want to discuss today, but we're not going to discuss it because I don't have another 45 minutes to an hour in the tank to chat more. So we'll get off the internet now, people. It is Thanksgiving. The family's still there. And like I will have a Shirley Thanksgiving dinner, I guess you could call it lunch. It is now time for part few of Thanksgiving. So you don't know. This is gonna be an epic second seat in the family right now. Baby girl, heat up the food. All right, so yeah, we just let out the call. We get everything prepared, and yeah, we will go and eat some more food. But what's today? Thursday. So you know the schedule for the rest of the week, people. On Jason Gooner TV, we will have tomorrow, the EPL preview show. We're discussing all the 10 games of the weekend. Of course, the big one Sunday, last game of the week, Stamford Bridge hosting the Gunners, Chelsea hosting the Gunners. So we'll definitely preview that and all the other games. If you are into predicting the games for the week, this is the place to be tomorrow night. Forward, drop your score predictions. Even if you missed the show, just drop your predictions in the comment section underneath the video. Just be sure to post them before kickoff on the Saturday morning. Now we'll add it to the big board and you can be in line to win the best picker of the week, get the title, or pick the worst and be the damn donkey. So hopefully that don't reach you if you do put your picks in. Mans was the champion last week, which is right. It's my show. Me the fucking expert. So I'm enough to win, brother. I'm enough to win, brother. Sure. And a really expert that does common sense and listening. It might not be England, who knows, but remember the player said he's not committing to anyone at the moment. So that means it's more than one option. Yeah, well, look, we know where he was born and we know where his ancestry is. So, yeah, we knew that he had more than one option. But the thing is that other option viable anymore? That's what we don't know. That's what we don't know. I don't think Hayden shouldn't did that interview. Yeah, well, they've clearly twisted around certain things and we really don't know that. We really, because it says it's from the Athletic. So we need to see the Athletic article that they're referencing in full to see if there's any context that need to be added, you know? The man mash up everywhere him go. I think you talk about Greenwood. What are your thoughts on Efron Mason Clark? Reed and Big Soccer, he started the process. Yeah, look, I've been looking at that player for a little while now. He was playing with Johnson Clark Harris before. He always seems to be around a lot of other Jamaicans in his teams. I think this year he's at Coventry ripping it up with another Jamaican that could have played for us, Thomas Asante, who I think we dropped the ball on him. He ended up playing for Ghana. But yeah, I think Mason Clark would be, you know, I think he's better than like Tyrese Campbell. I think he's better than who are the other wingers we have. I think he's on par at the moment with like a Damari Gray in the championship in terms of what he brings. Yeah, I think he would be quality. He'd be a quality addition. I think he's definitely got Premier League quality, you know, and he's I don't think he's that old. I think he's still mid-20s, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see. Yeah, he's 26 now. You know, started 12 out of 14 appearances, 3 goals, 1 assist this season in the champ. But yeah, he's solid, man. Really quick player, good technically, can play both sides. Good player. He's better. He just doesn't get the same media highlights like Saka or Palmer. The media also plays a key role in how your performance are perceived. Yeah, I mean, fair enough. Fair enough. Oh, you waited for Macaulay convo? My bad, Richard Green. My bad, star. I can't go no more, bro. I can't go no more. It's time for Thanksgiving part few. And like I said, the Coley one, that's a convo that I still want to do some more research because I think I haven't like done enough research on Coley himself. Like, what is he actually bringing to the setup? You know what I mean? Most of these players must not have nothing to say. They've not earned that right. We need new and better players. Thierry Henry, I think more than anything, I feel this because none of these guys did enough for Jamaica to be talking about anything, about anybody else, about none of that. Just put your head down and play ball, brother. You haven't done anything. But based on the fact that Greenwood can use both foot, I would say he got the edge over Cole and Saka to me. Fair enough. I think he has the better half foot than both of them, but I don't think Saka is right foot is to the point where he can't use it. I think Cole is a little more left-footed than Saka, but they're both very left-footed. Cole can be the assistant to Herdman. I think Herdman a forward though. Wait, so I'm greedy? Yeah, I'm greedy for real though. I can't lie. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm greedy. Redman got signed today. Yeah, by who? I wonder, him probably reach out to people again now. And I say, yo, I want to play some ball again, you know. So who signed Redman? I can't find that now, eh? Nathan Redman signs Let's see. I'm signed for Wednesday. So Wednesday can sign, man, and them just going away namely. Short-term contract until January 2026. Okay, so them signing for like 4 weeks. All right, people, big up on yourselves. Thanks so much for the support. I hope you did smash up the like button, you know. And Richard Green, my apologies, my bro. My apologies. I figured everybody did want me to talk about this article thing more than the Coley thing, but it looked like Richard Green did there await on the Coley talk to rotted. So my bad. It means a man will really don't like to put things in my title and then don't address it. But just being honest with you people, I don't think my quality is going to continue to be good if I continue to talk. It's time for me to end off this stream with a long convo about the girls. I drop what I would like to see the starting 11 be. Tomorrow night, as I said, I will be back with the EPL preview show. Saturday night, we will return again for just a little discussion on the game versus Dominica, and we can continue or well start the conversation after I've done a little bit more research in the next couple of days, a little bit more on Miguel Coley. And who knows, maybe by then the JFF will have announced a few more assistant coach appointments, but that's still in the works based on my sources. All right. But people, big up on yourself. Thanks so much for the support on the show. Thanks so much for the growth on the channel. We're almost right at about 2,200 subscribers. For a guy like me that don't really make the content every single day or have a set schedule, I am greatly appreciative of the growth of the channel since we start. Never really think we could have reached to all them numbers yet, to be honest, just because I know based on my schedule, I don't really have the time for do this all the time and everything. But yo, just respect to all the people and we show them support and love, and also like just the man them where know say if them click on this, they're gonna get some info, they're gonna get it from somebody will take it serious, and I try to give them something for, you know, understand something better than they did before they watched the program. You see me? So yeah, man, very thankful for the support and all of the well wishes that people would have given me since I started the show, and long may that continue. I plan on bringing you the content as long as I have the power to do so and the energy to do so. So get used to it, people. Gooner TV is here to stay, and we will continue to grow, continue to push the envelope, and continue to bring you quality. All right, people. So big up on yourselves. Thanks again for tuning in. I am Gooner. This is Gooner TV. Come on, you reggae girls. 3 points in the bag. I'm not going to say a soup though.